Hi and welcome to the video on bandaging fetlocks. Today I'm going to show you how to bandage the fetlock in a horse and the important things to think about when doing so. So again, if you have an injury on the fetlock, make sure that you've had the vet come out and have a look at it, because there's a lot of important structures very close underneath the skin. I've got a patient here that didn't make it, and this is the fetlock joint here, and you can see that there's a few little bones at the back here. They're the sesamoid bones, and this is the joint itself here, and there's tendons that run up this joint underneath and on the top. So it's very important structure to make sure if any wounds around this area have been checked to make sure that there's no joint involvement or tendon sheath involvement around the fetlock. So going to the horse's fetlock, so this is where those little bones are in the fetlock joint. So that's the part that we need to be mindful of if we're bandaging, that we're not going to put too much pressure on them and push them onto the tendons that run in between the joint and those little bones. So when you're bandaging, again, make sure that there's no mud and debris and whatnot, and wherever the wound is, make sure you've got a bandaging or padding over the wound, and whatever product you're going to put on the wound, whether it's a honey or a silverzine type product, or if there's stitches. So just make sure that the wound has been cleaned. And then if you're good at bandaging, or you've bandaged for many years, you sometimes don't need to have your padding, your cotton wool or whatever over it. But if you're just starting out or you're not 100% sure, always put some padding over the top as well. So we're assuming that all of that's been done. I'm literally just going to show you how to bandage the fetlock. So even if the wound's up a little bit here, you really need to include the fetlock in your bandage. So we'll just pretend that our wound is actually over the joint. So you can see how I pull this bandage off the roll. If I roll it straight from the bandage onto the wound, sometimes you can be pulling it off and really causing a constriction. These bandages are great, but sometimes if they get wet, they can shrink and cause blood, you can cut the blood circulation off. So just be careful with these bandaging materials that you are not putting them on too tightly, or they don't shrink. So to bandage the fetlock, I'm starting at the pastern, and I'm just going to put a loop around, and then depending on where my wound is, I'll just do another one around, and I'm just at those sesamoids there now. And then what I'll do is I'll go up, and I'm just doing a bit of a figure of 8, and then going down, and then back up, and then around, and then pushing that bandage down on itself. And you can see there I've just left a little bit out the back there, and that's stopping those bones from being forced back onto the tendons and whatnot, and just giving them a little bit of space there. So that's how you bandage a fetlock.